Hi everyone, how are you doing? I hope everyone enjoyed the semester, which is not literally a semester, but I hope everyone enjoyed this coding class as I do, and everyone did a good job in the final project. For my final project, I developed a web page called True Color, which is a very simple lesson to teach you about the basic knowledge in RYB, which is the traditional red, yellow, and blue color wheel. And through this, I put like 3 main interactions in it and to help to build a good learning process. So let's go to my page. So here, I first developed something. And log in. So you have to sign up first in order to log in, because through sign up, you can push the data inside of the user data array that I had in my JavaScript. So, and then you have different scenarios to log in. For example, if you type a wrong password, wrong name, it will say enter a valid password first. So you should have a valid thing. It will say no username found. And even if you're typing the right username, if you're typing the wrong password, it will say wrong password. Only if you enter everything right, it will say your journey just began. And here it will change to welcome. And before that, you may notice, before I log in, all these 2 parts, they are locked, so that you cannot click on it. And now it will unlock and enable the navigation bar. And first is our first lesson, color wheel. So here, and I use this navigation bar to go to all different IDs. You can go to exact the part in the page. So go to primary color, it will tell you what is color wheel, and this different explanations, and what is complementary color. And then here we have a quiz. So when you say you're ready, it will erase all the contents in there before, and then you begin your quiz. And here I add something, so you have to select each answer. Otherwise, it will say, please finish all questions. So after you select the questions, let's just randomly say something. And so let's say submit my answer. It will give you a quiz result, which will give you exact like individual evaluation on your answer. So you can, based on this, you can change your answer. For example, the question 5, let's change it into A and submit your answer. It will turn to true. So this immediate feedback for the user. And then you can go back, and it will go back to the learning content. And also, and this is about the color wheel. And the color context, I built a very small practice here, because color context is about how color behaves differently in relation to other colors and shapes. So let's do a small practice here. First, draw some squares. We click on it, it will draw some squares, and then you paint the inside small squares red. Here you go. And then let's give it some different colors. So when you drag these different color boxes, it will give them different background. So, and then you can click on have you noticed the difference? And the difference, it will tell you like how the red behaves differently. For example, on the black, it looks for brilliant and compared to the white. And if here is something, for example, you didn't say, so for example, orange, you can just change it here. You can drag orange here. And this is, so in this way, you can tell how the color behaves differently in this different contexts. And another thing here is, so this navbar, if you go back to get started, it is no longer the sign up page, it's the welcome page. And this is basically the function, and this is my code. Something about this index success page is that, so if you go to already unlock the navbar, so if you go back to get started, like originally you should go back to index.html, but if you go to index.html, it will refresh the index, which will go back to the login and sign up again, which I don't want the user to have. So that's why I built this fake page, index success. So every time if you go back, it will go back to this page. which the navbar is enabled, and it's also welcome instead of the sign up. Well, I mean, ideally it should go back to index page once I added something like local storage or anything to help this page remember that I already logged in. But since I don't have the time, so I just create this fake page. And so 3 main challenge and also this main interaction I had, we can see here. The first index page is about my login function. So I managed to do the sign up function, but on this login function, you can see that here I first validate the task, just ask the user to input anything. And here we can see that inside of the for loop, I have an if, and inside of the if, I have another if, and there's also an alert. So I will not elaborate here because I just told you before there are different scenarios when the user, whether they put the right password or the right username. So in order to achieve all these scenarios, I actually first had such a hard time through all these loops. But in the end, I managed to do it by debugger, and I found out debugger is very helpful when it comes to different like loops. You want to know what is the system, what is the page doing right now. And you want to know what is under different scenarios, what will happen. And this is the second challenge is in the color wheel page. This is my quiz data, which is the correct answer. And you can see that I have a get answer, collect answer, check answer, and submit quiz. And actually the only thing you can see on my color wheel in my HTML is the submit quiz. Let's go to the quiz. Unclick submit quiz. So everything else is happening inside of the JavaScript, which is actually an idea I borrow from the to-do list. Just one function within another, which I think is very cool. So you can see that the get answer is happening in this collect answer. And this collect answer is happening in check answer. And in submit quiz, we first have click answer, and we also have check answer. So that's how one function submit quiz can call these 4 functions all together. So the get answer actually is just to get the value of the checked radio. If it's not checked, it will return false. And the collect answer is just going to collect all these 6 answers into an array. And the check answer is just to check if the answer of the user is correct with the correct answer. If it is true, it will return true. If it's not, it will return false. So the submit quiz here, you can just see my codes in my repository to get a better understanding. But I just first check if all the questions are answered, which I managed to do that through my collect answer. And then I create a loop to check, to use the check answer to say if every answer of the user is correct with the correct answer. And then I will return this without, because check answer will only return true or false. And then I return this without and create it in the HTML, which is the quiz without you will see on my HTML page. And this part, because one function within another function, sometimes you don't know what is the bug, where is the bug, which function it is. So that's where the console actually helped me, because if I type console.log after each line, like console.log, I will see what is the problem. Where is the problem? Because if the for loop does not work, the console.log, for example, if I produce a console.log after the for loop, if the for loop failed, the console.log will not happen. And that's about my color wheel page. On the color context page, my biggest challenge is the drag and drop, because I'd never learned the drag and drop before. So this part I just Googled it and I tried to understand what is the different event, what is the handler, And so I managed to do this drag and drop. But what I failed to do, my mistake before is the drop function. So I try to transfer the data of the box that I drag because I want to pass its color to the background of my outside square. But here the mistake I made is I don't know the data transfer can only transfer string. Well, I know, but I used a pass in before. So there's a lot of misunderstanding about string, variable, and also the class name and inner HTML, and this just a lot of, because the misunderstanding on all these concepts on their type, and their what is it, like what is the type of this concept. So which the console.log help, because I can only know what is the type of this element by console.log. For example, I use console.log, and then I'll use the dir list, or I just type in type of list. It will show me it's a string, which will solve all these questions. So which I also find very, very helpful, the console.log. And that's basically my code. And this CSS I have is just all these different color boxes. And here I use all this hex, I think it's called, through a web page. And other things, I mainly just use the Bootstrap. The thing that I learned this this class, and all this page I learned, I think, is how to build an interactive experience because when we first do I remember the small lesson, the beginning, like the last DJ page I built, it is not interactive at all. But at first I'm very proud, like, oh look, it's a beautiful page, and only through I built this page, the true color, I understand how user interaction mean. It means that the data input you put can actually produce a result in the HTML, and it will also give feedback through both the user and also the background, like the backend, the system. And also I really like how you can check the how you can check the if and the for loop, which I think is very cool. And that's basically it, because I'm able to summarize everything and every code that I know, but I will say that this semester is a great start for me. Like, this class is a great start for me to understand what is coding. And also this brain has not functioning through like mathematical logical things for a lot of years. So I'm very glad this coding can actually make me really think, I don't know, maybe left brain to right brains, or if I'm using right brain before, this is left brain. And that's it. And I hope everyone will gain the same result that I had, and we all feel that coding is very fun, because for me it's really fun. And thank you. Oh, and it's nice to work with everyone this semester.